Hi there, this is David and welcome to New RPG News. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about today, from some new releases, to some delays, to some cool Kickstarters, to Final Fantasy 16 news, to this amazing hack that I've seen as well that I'm totally keeping my eye on. But first up, we have a Kickstarter here. This is called The Impact of Awada, who is the president of Nintendo, at least where he was whenever I was growing up. And this is a book. Much like kind of that guide to Japanese role-playing games book, this book looks amazing. Thankfully, it has already been backed, so it is going to come to fruition. However, there are 12 days left to go on this Kickstarter as of me recording this video, so you'll have plenty of time to go on in here and contribute some money to it if you would like to pick up this book as well, if you're like me and you've only just now heard about it. So inside the book, it has these little this really cute artwork. It has video game screenshots. It has the history of Nintendo. Balloon Fight right there. I loved Balloon Fight when I was a kid. That was such a fun game. It has some chapter art examples like the creation of Kirby, re-engineering Earthbound, to the west, Dragon Quest. There's a chapter on Dragon Quest of all things. Then we have some of the contributors right here. There's also some contributing writers as well. And I didn't notice any of these people, but then I saw Sack Chief is there. I am aware of Sack Chief. He's a really big Dragon Quest fan, just like me, over on YouTube. And then it goes into the various rewards. But I want to show you guys this reward grid, because I think that's the best, visualization of it all right here. So they have a digital book, they got a physical book, autograph, OB jacket, bookmark, art print set, your name in the book, your artwork in the book. Okay, so here's the deal. You can go for anywhere from $20 to $100, but all of them come with a wall poster as well as an audio book too. Those are stretch goals released here. I think personally, I'm going to probably kickstart at the $29 level, because that gets me everything that I want. It gets me the physical book, it gets me a wall poster, and it gets me an audio book that I'll probably never use. But the wall poster and the physical book? Yeah, why not? That sounds great to me, and I am totally looking forward to this book. If you guys want more stuff, they do have this collector's edition here as well, and you can really look at all the things that are included in this Kickstarter here. I love that guide to Japanese role-playing games that was on Kickstarter. It's amazing, and this looks just as good. Nintendo plans a smooth transition from the Switch to their next console by actually using people's Nintendo accounts. Wow, what a concept! Actually keeping an account from console to console and having to create a new account every single time. Wow, mind freaking blown here. I remember the first time that Nintendo had these accounts was on the Wii, and I bought Final Fantasy IV, the After Years, as well as Breath of Fire 2. And I wish that I was able to, access those on the Switch, but you can't, because, the accounts don't, roll over. But now, finally, they're joining the 21st century, and accounts are going to roll over from this to the Switch 2, which still hasn't been announced. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we do know that Switch sales are on the decline, so it's going to happen sooner rather than later, probably next year, for a Switch 2. And here's hoping for backwards compatibility, because the Switch library is great, and they would be fools not to make it backward compatible. Arcadian Atlas launches July 27th for the PC, and later on in the year for consoles. This is a narrative-driven, isometric tactical RPG in the same vein as something like Final Fantasy Tactics. And this artwork here, beautiful. Looks very PS1 pixel art. It has given me massive Final Fantasy Tactics vibes right here. Basically, it's talking about how it's in the nation of Arcadia, which is tearing itself apart because of a civil war, and there's an evil bitch of a queen willing to do anything to ascend to the throne. So you need to build an elite party of adventurers from more than 12 unique classes with their own custom skill trees, blah, 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 blah. So, if you're a fan of tactical RPGs like this, like I am, this is given, I saw tarot cards, this is giving me Tactics Ogre vibes, this looks sweet. Okay, I am about this. Avatar: The Last Airbender: The Quest for Balance has been announced for the PS5, the Xbox, the PS4, the Switch, and the PC, coming out this fall. I don't watch a lot of anime or cartoons or things like that, but during the shutdown, a lot of people were like, talking about Avatar and how great it was or whatever, and I was like, I don't know, it's like made for like 6-year-olds or something. But then I turned it on and I really liked it, so I ended up watching like the entire thing in like a week. I just sat there and I did my cross-stitching and I was watching Avatar: The Airbender and everything, and I really liked it. Ken was like walking by like rolling his eyes like, I can't believe you're watching this crap, but I did, and I liked it. It was really good. It has some key features right here. It says that there's actually a unique 2-player cooperative mode, so you guys can play together with your friends. It says, travel across the 4 nations through a 1 or 2-player cooperative 18-chapter adventure. And then you can complete Aang's original adventure and replay each chapter whenever you choose to re-experience your favorite moments from the series. You play as 9 iconic characters, including Aang, Toph, Sokka, and Katara. Has navigate challenging puzzles using bending and the unique abilities of water, earth, fire, and air. Upgrade your abilities throughout the story to unleash the full potential of the Avatar. Defend your party against opposing forces using a mix of complex bending combos to deal damage to the Fire Nation soldiers and other various adversaries. So yeah, like this looks cool. I would be all about this. Like I've played other cartoony anime games and stuff like that, like back in the day, and also One Piece Odyssey. I've played some for the SNES as well. I think there was like Ramna and a Half or something that I played. There was Eternal Felina. I think that was based off of an anime as well, and I loved those. Some of the Dragon Ball Z games. So this looks cool. I am totally looking forward to this. The Nintendo Switch Online is adding Crusader of Senti, Ghouls and Ghosts, Landstalker, and The Revenge of Shinobi to their lineup. Of these, I really only care about 2 of these games. I've played 2 of these games, and I've loved 2 of these games. And those 2 are Crusader of Senti as well as Landstalker, so let's talk about those. Basically, Crusader of Senti is Sega's answer to Zelda. It is essentially The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Wish Edition, if you know what I mean. It's like, we have Zelda at home edition. But I say that jokingly, but it is fun. It's actually a lot of fun. Ghouls and Ghosts, I played that on the NES, and it was so freaking hard back in the day. I really didn't like it because it was super, super, super hard. I think that was like Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and that was okay. Landstalker. Have you ever played Alundra, people? Yeah, Landstalker is almost like precursor to Alundra, and it is so much fun. It's like isometric, it's an action RPG, tons of puzzles, but it is cute as a button, and I do think that you will like Landstalker. There's a sequel to Landstalker called Lady Stalker, which still hasn't been translated yet. That's one of the games that's like my white whale that I cannot wait till it finally gets translated because it just looks amazing. Then there's Shinobi, which is just some side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden type game or whatever that I don't give 2 shits about, but whatever. Baldurs Gate 3 release date has been moved up to August 3rd for the PC, but delayed to September 6th for the PS5. I am not really one to play the Baldur's Gates or the Western RPGs or things like that, but I also don't live under a rock. Like, I know that they're a big deal, and I know that they're good games, and I'll probably pick it up a year or 2 later whenever it's like $10 somewhere in some sale. That's what I normally do with the Western RPGs, because they're just not like my day 1 buys, but I still want to like check them out and try them out, you know what I mean? So I just want to talk about some of the stats that they gave here. It says, it contains more dialogue than 3 times all of the Lord of the Rings books combined, with the script containing over 2 million words. That's quite a bit. I would imagine that that's a lot of NPC dialogue, but still, my god. With over 170 hours of cinematics, it is twice the length of every season of Game of Thrones combined. I'm gonna talk about this for a minute, because I know that there's like different paths and stuff. You could probably go like, evil, good, neutral, or whatever. So I know that you're not going to see all those cinematics at once or during one playthrough, but at the same time, like, I want to play a game. I do not want to watch a game. I don't like this new fad of adding in like movies into games. Like I don't want to sit there and like watch a movie in my game. Every time that I'm playing a game and like this long movie thing happens, I end up pulling out my phone and I'm just like scrolling through Facebook and I'm like, is this thing over yet? Like I just want to play my game. You know what I mean? I can't be the only person who does that. It says that there's 7 playable protagonists, each with their own rich stories, personalities, desires, and objectives, as well as a best-in-class character creation system for custom characters. You can play as one of 11 races and 31 sub-races, wow, with multiple body types. That's neat. 12 classes, 46 subclasses, compared to Divinity, Original Sins, 10 schools of spells. There's over 600 spells and actions. Like, this is a lot. This is a lot. I'm definitely gonna have to play this again. For me, personally, it's not a day one purchase, but it's definitely a purchase. So the other day, I put out my July release video, and I was talking about Two Who New World. It was coming out for, let me see right here, for the Switch as well as the PC on July 12th. However, now it's coming out for the PS5 and PS4 on September 12th. So if you don't have a Switch or a PC, you can still play this game, which looks pretty freaking cool, if I do say so myself. I've talked about this game pretty in-depth, actually, recently. So if you're interested in it, be sure to pick it up. Now we have some good news on the RPG front and just the sales of RPGs in general. Final Fantasy XVI, the shipments, the physical shipments, as well as the digital sales have topped 3 million copies sold. That is a ton, because normally Square's like, oh, it's like only 500,000? Oh. But like 3 million, that's nothing to sneeze at right here. I am still working my way through 16 myself. I am roughly 85% through the game, and you should expect some hints and tips videos coming up from me, as well as a full final review whenever I am done with the game. Spoiler alert, I'm liking it. Like, it's a good game. I'm sorry. I know it's not turn-based. I know that there's some purists out there. I get it, believe me. If there's anybody who gets wanting Final Fantasy to be turn-based, it's me, because I love a good turn-based game, but it's still a good game. I mean, it's still a really good game, people. Again, just to talk about the good, healthy state of JRPGs, we got Final Fantasy selling 3 mil, Atelier Ryza, 2 million! 2 million of Atelier Ryza. Now, this is all 3 games. This is the combined shipments of all 3 games over the years. But still, like, that's great, because, like, you know, Final Fantasy is very mainstream. Atelier, not so much. And Atelier is, like, very, very JRPG. It is very, like, bright and fun and very Japanese, very crafty, very turn-based battles, things like that. So, for anybody who is thinking that, you know, the death of the JRPG is upon us, no ma'am. We are in an RPG renaissance right now, and these games are doing fantastically, and I am so happy for that. Alright, I am on the Square Enix website, and there is a long interview with the Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered producer, and he talks about all sorts of different tweaks and additions that he did for the console release, and I am not going to go through this entire interview. It is extraordinarily long. It's also extraordinarily interesting. But all that being said, there is one particular question that I do want to focus on, and that is if they're going to add the changes to the PC and mobile versions that they put in the console versions. If you recall, in the console versions, they added in experience multipliers, encounters on or off, adding in extra stat bonuses to Final Fantasy II or ABP in Final Fantasy V, those sort of bonuses. But those bonuses are not in the PC and mobile versions. So the question goes, how about adding some of those improvements to the mobile and PC versions? Okay, so his answer. There are a lot of fans out there for whom the Final Fantasy series holds a special place in their hearts, and I'm sure that some of them will feel as though we could have done a lot more to improve these games. That being said, they do have a special place in my heart as well, and with these remasters, I want to present something that elevated these games to something even just a little bit greater than what they were before. The reason that I was able to make the changes is that the fans have shared so many of their ideas and requests. And I think that this was a factor in convincing Square Enix to give us the go-ahead as well. So if all you fans out there would be so kind to share your thoughts on the home console release of the Pixel Remaster, it'll make it easier for me to do things like this in the future. So then he says, okay, yeah, well, player feedback is important, but hey, are you going to actually add these changes? Okay. So then he goes on to say, it's difficult to say for certain at the moment, but of course I am considering it. Or perhaps I should say that I've already started making arrangements. Hell yeah. That being said, making the home console versions was a completely separate process from making the mobile and PC versions, so I don't know if it will be possible to include every single new feature and change at this time. He goes on to say that mobile devices have different specs, all of this other kind of stuff, but the bottom line is, he is going to improve the PC and mobile versions. He's going to take all of those changes that were in the console versions and patch them into the PC versions. Holla frickin' Luya! And for our final story of the week, the coolest thing I've seen in quite a long time. This is a Final Fantasy VI meets Final Fantasy Tactics fan mod in development using Final Fantasy Tactics as the base game, but replacing the characters with characters from Final Fantasy VI, as well as their abilities too. It is so freaking cool. You can watch this and you can see the different battles that they're going on through. You can see that Edgar has kind of like Mustadio's abilities. You know, it's just like mind-blowing. This thing is just amazing. Like Sabin is the monk, Strago is the blue mage, you know, Locke has your thief abilities, Cyan has like holy sword abilities. You can see them like fighting at Zozo. You can see them fighting well on chocobos, fighting against like the Magitech armor as they're escaping Figaro Castle. Basically, it takes like all the main big plot points of Final Fantasy VI and it kind of like puts them into a Final Fantasy Tactics kind of battle. So like, this is so freaking cool. I love the modding scene, the translation scene, taking older games that I loved and then kind of like putting a new spin on them. And this is like, it's just fantastic. It's just freaking, like, I think this one above me, that is Zozo. Like, come on, you're in Zozo, but you're fighting them like Final Fantasy Tactics style. This thing looks dope. It looks so freaking cool. Right now, all we have are just 2 videos about it. We don't know any sort of time frame, really anything else besides what you can see in these videos, but from what I can see, it looks so freaking cool. I just cannot stand it, and I cannot wait to hear more about this as well. So that's it for this week's news. Let me know what you guys liked the best. Let me know what you're most looking forward to. Let me know if there's anything you would like me to cover as well next week. And as always, have a good day.